Howling After Dark. So, we have a special guest tonight. Potential new team member of Ghostwolf Paranormal. And I say potential because she actually hasn't had her tryout investigation yet. And hasn't met the other member of our team, Becky, yet. So, till all that happens, it's potential. And until she gets the final nod. So, we're going to interview her, get her background, and go from there. So, Ashley, say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Alright, so, launch right into it. Tell us about your background. What was your first experience?
My first experience was, I was fairly young. I remember it all started back with an imaginary friend, to be honest. I can remember about, 5, 6, 7 years old. I had this imaginary friend. His name was Kenny Marley Morley. Don't question the name. It's weird as shit. Weird as shit. But Kenny Marley Morley was like my bestest friend in the world. He lived above, we had lived in an old country farmhouse, right?
Yeah.
So, I am from a town called South Charleston, Ohio, which is not too far from Springfield, Ohio. Which Springfield is in between Dayton and Columbus. They're whereabouts. That's where I'm from. First 19 years of my life, I was in South Charleston, on the edge of South Charleston, actually. And then from 19 to now, or 19 till as of a little while ago, I'm 34 now. So I've lived in Springfield that long. And then I moved here to Akron. So, with that being said, this country house that I lived in was very haunted. As I said, I had my best friend, Kenny Marley Morley. He lived at the top in the old frames, like old ass houses. You have like the wooden door frame. Well, he lived in the corner. Like if you're looking at the door frame, you have the left and the right. On the right hand side, there was the furnace door because we had an old propane furnace. Well, he lived in that corner right there because he loved to be warm. He hated the winter there because it, obviously being out in the country, it gets pretty chilly and windy and nasty out there. So he would go away, and he would actually travel with my grandmother to Florida.
Okay, so this all started with an imaginary friend.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you this. Yeah. Was this imaginary friend an imaginary friend, or was it something more?
I think it might have been something more. I think that's just who they came to me as. Now, the more that I think about it, the more I think that it might have been like my guardian angel, basically, in the form of something that I could recognize.
It brings to mind, to me, anyways, if you've ever seen Haunting in Connecticut 2, The Ghosts of Georgia.
Yes, very good.
The little girl had what she thought was an imaginary friend. Turned out it was the priest's property owner that had passed away, and he was looking out for her.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Well, come to find out, later on down the road, because, my now ex-husband, he used to see things, and hear things, and feel things, spirits. Me personally, I've only ever been able to feel them. I feel their presence, and I can hear them. It's not here till recently I've been able to open myself up more clairvoyantly and be able to. I see glimpses now of spirits.
Well,
if they show me themselves, actually, it's up to them.
Okay, let's back up a second here. When did it start?
What
being able to sense them? when did that start?
I think I always have. It's just not until I started becoming older, and I think it was like the time frame, like in the time frame when you're a kid and your parents, are trying to get you out of the make-believe stage. Well, guess what? I'm a big kid, and I don't plan on stopping
Well,
being
makes
a big
two
kid.
of us.
I think that's why I'm still able to feel them and sense them, and I've just progressed more. I've been, more clairvoyant, basically.
Well, yeah, I kind of agree. I'm a big kid too. That's why I've been doing this for 30 years. Because I have that child sense of wonder
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the paranormal. I've figured a lot of stuff out. Well, we've talked about it, off air, but
I think we need to tell them the story of how we met too.
we'll get to that. But so, like for me, I see them. I've always seen them. I haven't been able to always hear them though.
See, that's where I can help out in that aspect.
Well, Becky, our EVP specialist,
Mm-hmm.
who hopefully you'll meet soon.
Mm-hmm.
She's got like fucking bat ears for the paranormal. Like she hears things that nobody else hears and are only picked up on EVP.
Mm-hmm. So basically, got like bat ears.
Yeah, like in tune with the paranormal too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of her gig. Mine, like, I'm the leader of the team. Plus, I'm the guy you want to have the camera.
Well, yeah.
Because I see them. The
You'll know
likelihood
where
of
to
right, and the likelihood of me catching something on film is a lot higher than it would be if it were just like, for lack of a better term, an average Joe.
I think they also need to learn a little bit about like how I'm able to feel them and stuff too. That might help a little bit, like my background on that.
Oh, okay. So go ahead.
So I am a Wiccan. More specifically, not only am I Wiccan, but the type of magic I practice is voodoo. Now, I know there's misconceptions of voodoo. Oh, voodoo's bad. No, 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 no.
Well, there's good and bad in anything.
Yes. But I am a healer. I'm a protector. And here recently I've become more aware, clairvoyant.
So you're what we would call. I always get these confused. It's either Hugnan or Bokor. One is good, one is bad, and I forget which is which.
But I also have other aspects of me too, as well. Like I've come, my natural gifts and my abilities that have been given to me, by what we should say a higher power. I have been called in latest terms. Let me put it to you this way. I know there's going to be some fans of the movie Twilight. I'm talking Edward Bella bullshit.
Yeah.
Fake shit. But
Yeah.
basically, if you remember in the story, Bella was a shield. When she became a vampire, she was able to project that shield. That's me. That's who I am. I was and am a shield. I'm also what they call a conduit, which just means I can transfer energy from one hand to the other to a person to a person.
Okay. So let's slow down for a second.
Okay.
All right. So you're a shield.
Yes.
Right? So am I, among other things. So I kind of get that. Now, you had mentioned bringing up how we met.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing. I'm actually going to tell this story.
Yes, you are.
Because there are some details I feel need to be left out.
Well, duh.
So the way that we met was like 7 years ago. She was, I don't know, were you dating or were you married to him?
I was never better than that motherfucker. And yes,
Okay.
I call this asshole a motherfucker.
Okay, so she was dating a guy that briefly was on my team, and I'm not going to name his name because I I don't believe it's necessary.
No, what stays in the
Because
past stays in the
because it would basically entail me like kind of like talking shit about a guy, and I don't do that.
We don't dwell
Right?
on the past.
I will say that he from what my observances were has a tendency to draw in negative things, and that's why he did not stay a member of the team. Uh, and I'm fairly certain that's probably what ruined that relationship.
Oh,
Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
It's when you guys went to Mansfield, did an
Yeah.
investigation.
Yeah. There's more to that story.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we had done an investigation at the Mansfield Reformatory years ago with this dude and another friend of mine named Danny. And rumor is Danny has since passed away. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard. Anyways, so it was a fairly decent sized group of us, and me, my friend Cody, and this girl. I think her name was Megan. Split off on our own, and then Danny and this dude. Let's call him Joe Blow. So Danny and Joe Blow, and no, it was just Danny and Joe Blow.
You said there was a female too.
Not there.
Okay.
So it was just Danny and Joe Blow. They went off to another part of the prison. Now, supposedly, in this other part of the prison, which is in the West Wing, there is a box. It's not really a box. What it actually is it's a book container. It holds the Catholic, I forget what they call it. It's the book they use for funeral ceremonies.
Yep.
And I can't remember. My brain is mush. I don't remember the name of it. And not really pertinent.
Not important.
But it was that book. So it wasn't like a box. It was like a case, really.
A case for a Bible.
A book of it's a book of something. I can't remember. So it's not exactly the Bible. It's like an add-on to the Bible, just for funerals. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I digress. So the rule was, and they tell you this when they do the walkthrough, is that you're not supposed to open this case. Evidently, according to things I've heard, this individual that we're calling Joe Blow did, in fact, open the case, and dark, negative, evil, demonic shit has been infesting this guy over and over again ever since.
To the point where when he came back home from that investigation, he wasn't the same person. He was a different person. He was possessed. And
right.
I recognized it immediately.
Right. So, anyways, on to how me and Ashley met is, I don't exactly remember what the reason was.
What happened was I found Jay on Facebook because he told me where he was going and who he was going with. He told me that much. So I got nosy and I started looking up, Ghosts with Paranormal, and lo and behold, I started finding everything. I found Jay, I found the podcast, I found Speaker, and I've been listening to him ever since, 7 years ago. Never stopped.
Right. So, the thing is that when he told you, I remember this pretty much exactly. The time he told you he was going to the reformatory with me and Danny and everybody else, it wasn't me and Danny and everybody else. It was just him and Danny.
Yeah.
He basically lied.
Oh, yeah.
So I wasn't even there. I had only been there with them the one time. But this is like the example of like the dark taking hold, I guess. Anyways, so she reached out to me and we talked a little bit, and then
Protection.
right, I had to work up some protection from him because of everything going on, which I did. I'm not going to go into the hows or whys or anything. Not doesn't matter. So then we didn't really talk much for like 5 years or so. We'd like leave comments on each other's posts, that kind of thing, but no real conversations. And then recently she reached out to me again, and we started talking, and that's where we are now. Basically, is on the verge of having her join the team, having witnessed some of the things that she's capable of firsthand. I myself am on board with this. Nora is on board with this. We just need to do an official tryout and for Becky to sign off. If Becky signs off, then she will be an official member of Ghostal Paranormal, and then we'll go and kick ass from there. But that's all future stuff. Back to the past. So you start feeling these things at around about what age exactly?
I'd say about 5 or 6.
So it started at 5 or 6. At what point did you realize it was more than just kitty stuff?
When I found out that I was a witch, and I was a natural born witch back in 2009, I started piecing stuff together.
So this you're going to have to clarify for my listeners,
Okay.
because a lot of people hear the word witch, and they are automatically thinking,
devil worshippers, Satanists.
Yeah.
No. If you want to go back.
Well, see, I already know all of
Yes.
this because Nora is Wiccan.
Yes.
So, but for my listeners that don't know, Wiccan is basically one of the oldest religions in the world.
Before Christianity.
Yeah, it predates Christianity. It's a belief system. Okay, it's not any different than Christianity or Buddhist or
it's all the same
whatever.
thing. It's just we worship different things for different.
They're. I mean, they believe in good and evil, just like pretty much every other religion does. Only difference is they instead of doing like communion, let's say, they do spell work, right?
Yeah, we basically pray to our deities, our gods, our goddesses, whoever you pray to and worship is who you give thanks to. I do not do. Now that's something else too. With my type of magic, I do healing, I do protecting, I do cleansing spells. I just recently found out that I'm also part Cherokee. What I do know is that I am part Scottish, mostly German, Cherokee, and Macedonian, which is like Greek island, Greek Mediterranean era. So I have all that. Plus, that's not even if I go to astrology.com or whatever.
Well, that's your heritage, though.
Yes.
That's not necessarily your beliefs.
But that's where some of my beliefs do come from, is because
Right.
I am Scottish, so I do Celtic, I do Irish. The Cherokee, the natives, I do follow that as well. I've been following that a lot more here lately. A lot.
Well, we've talked a lot about that because I am a medicine man, so that's kind of in my wheelhouse.
And, my profession is a home caretaker. That's what I naturally do.
Right.
It's a line of work that I
Yeah,
enjoy.
she has. Well, you have 3 kids.
Yes,
Right.
I have an
But
11-year-old and a set of fraternal twins, a boy and a girl who are 6.
right, so yeah, that's a big job.
Yes, very much so.
So that's cool. You know. So where we're at now
Mm.
is it's been what is that? You said you're 34.
I'm 34. Yeah.
So it's been like 29 years since you started feeling it. All right. So how do you feel them exactly?
The way they come to me, how I feel them, their presence, everybody's different. Like,
Is it what I'm getting at
for
is
me,
like
it's a cold chill. Normally, they come to me and they touch. It feels like a cold breeze without actually a cold breeze blowing. Like there's no air going. That's how I can tell the
so
difference.
you feel like the quintessential like chills down your spine,
Oh, yeah.
the charge.
Yep.
Yep. Electromagnetic energy. Well, I
But
mean, we
also,
all kind of do that, but how is yours different? I guess
it's
is what I'm
because
getting
I'm
at.
also, which is also part of my Wiccan. I'm also an empath, which means I feel what other
Okay,
people
so you're
feel.
actually feeling their emotions. And
Yes, I can feel like
Alright.
this sense. Like I can sense their sadness, their anger. If they need help or if they want help, I can help them like move on. I have actually helped people move on.
Yeah, they don't normally need that in my experience.
Or they're just
Because
around to
there really
protect me.
isn't. See, the thing is, and you may or may not agree with this, but in my experience, and I've been doing this a long time, I've only come across authentically trapped spirits maybe enough times to count on one hand.
Yeah.
So it does happen, but it's really rare.
But then it also has to go back to what I experienced, with the whole, when we first met, that whole demonic thing.
Right.
That's something else that kind of takes an effect too.
Yeah.
Considering that they was with me for 7 years.
Right. So, wait, the demons were with you for 7 years?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
I
So,
remember. Yeah, 7 years.
so, okay, so they were with you for 7 years.
Yep.
And then you got rid of them. I'm not going to go into that whole thing because I was there for that. And that's not a.
Nope.
That doesn't need to be public knowledge. Let's just say that things went well and they went away, essentially. And enough said on that. So, and there's a very specific reason, by the way. I'm not going to talk about that because I don't need anybody else to try it. Because if it's not done exactly right, it can seriously backfire. Seriously backfire.
Like really,
like potentially you could get killed backfire. All right.
Like
so
only trained professionals.
I'm not going to describe the things we did. I'm not going to describe the ritual involved. None of that. Just know that if you have that kind of problem, you can reach out to us, Ghost Wolf Ghost Hunters at weebly.com, or you can contact me personally at ghostwolfj, Jay, all one word, at gmail.com. Other than that, don't mess with it. These things are actually dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen what they do to people. It's not so much that they hurt you, they get you to hurt yourself.
Yep.
And they have a knack for causing negative things in your life to happen just to fuel that fire. Alright, so.
And y'all know, if you've done any ghost hunting with Jay, you'll know who.
Yeah.
Who they are.
Yeah.
They're very well known. unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to get into that.
Nope.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. Not even really the point. So, my plan is, hopefully, it may not be this place though, and we may end up having to go someplace else. It just depends on scheduling, all that shit. But hopefully, my hope is that we get to do an investigation with you, Ashley, at the Cross-Eyed Moose Event Center. Reason being is there is absolutely nothing negative there at all.
Right.
In fact, it's not only one of the most active spots I've ever been in my 30 years of doing this. It's also very unique because every spirit there is an attachment to an object.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are all coming from these antiques that were collected in Texas and shipped to Ohio. Mm-hmm. Because the owner's from Texas. Those that have been listening for a while have probably heard me talk about the Cross-Eyed Moose before. It is unlike anything else. I'll just tell you that. It's not a huge location, but it is the most active I've ever seen. And not just, here and there. I mean, consistently across the board, every time we've been there, it's been active and we've gotten something to show for it. I can't really say that about many places. In fact, two that I can think of. Cross-Eyed Moose and the Mansfield Fire Museum, which we don't investigate anymore because of, I'm not even sure why, and I don't really want to get into it. But, so that's the plan. Unless we can't do the moose, then we may have to figure out someplace else to go. But either way, yeah, we need Becky to sign up because that's the deal. So if Becky's on board with you being on the team, then it's all good.
That's
awesome. Alrighty. So let me check chat real quick, see if anybody's in there.
Yes, please ask any questions. I'm an open book. I'll ask answer anything you have.
Alright, so let's tag some folks. Nothing so far. And we've got about 13 minutes left, so we'll see. But yeah, so that's the plan moving forward anyways. And then hopefully here in the near future we're also going to be doing a lot more Ghost Wolf Live stuff with investigations, streaming live video via YouTube during investigations in the near future. Hopefully at the Cross-Eyed Muse, as well as a couple other places like the Everett Covered Bridge and a few other key spots that we like to go to that are kind of off the beaten path. We don't really like to go to the big places like the Mansfield Reformatory because they've been done to death, for starters. And they've gotten enough attention. It's time to shine light on some of these other places, I think. That's always kind of been our mission, so to speak, is to get the places that are kind of ignored. Alright, folks, well, that is about all the time we have. Until next time, my pack, my tribe. Peace out.